It's time for Pod of the Dead. Join us!
Oh, God damn it. All right, hold on. Let's start over. This is a fucking mess. Yeah.
We are recording, right?
We are a mess. Hello, we are a mess.
But we are recording too, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we're recording.
Yep. Hello, and welcome to Pod of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your host, Nicholas, and with me, as always, are the two final girls, Stephanie.
Hello.
And Natasha.
Hi, guys. This week, we are talking about Critters, the original, which is a 1986 American sci-fi comedy horror film.
Okay.
Directed by Stephen Herrick in his directorial debut and co-written with Dominic Muir. It stars Dee Wallace, Emmett Walsh, Billy Greenbush, and Scott Grimes in his film debut.
Billy
The plot
Greenbush.
follows. Yeah, it's Billy Green. Apparently that's his nickname, I guess. I don't know.
Ladies, you need to go to the hospital stat if you have a green bush.
That's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
it's frowned upon.
Okay.
The plot follows a group of small furry aliens with carnivorous behavior escaping from two shape-shifting bounty hunters, landing in a small countryside town to feast on its inhabitants.
You find yourself going, man, I wish I had more Pod of the Dead. Well, you're in luck. We have a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Pod of the Dead 666, you can find us there and get the full videos of our episodes with added content such as serious pasta for serious people. So again, that is patreon.com/Pod of the Dead 666.
Okay.
Yeah, so you had said that this is the directorial debut of Stephen Herrick, or Stephen Herrick, however you pronounce it.
Is it a PH?
Yeah, some
Is it
people...
E-N or A-N?
Ian.
Oh, dear.
Oh, it's Stephen.
Yeah, okay. Stephen Herrick.
Hey,
He would go on to direct such films as Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, The Mighty Ducks, Don't
Ooh.
Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead,
Yay!
and the live-action 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close.
Oh, cute.
So he definitely, like, this shot him into the 90s.
So he didn't do the other Critters. He only did this one?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you look at IMDb, the Critters movies have diminishing returns. Their scores are always lower and lower and lower. But in my book, that means they just get better and better and better because they get campier and weirder and dumber as they go on. Because my favorite scene in this movie, which we'll get into later, is basically what they're like, oh, let's just do that kind of shit all the time.
I saw Critters 3 has a 0% on Google TV.
Well, it also, I believe, is the acting debut of Leonardo DiCaprio is the third one.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's almost worth checking out just to see Leonardo DiCaprio.
There's all those kind of weird things, like what is it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The New Generation, which I believe is the third one. It stars Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, and it's it's not their debuts, but like it was made before they got big, kind of shelved, then they got big, and they're like, let's push this out, let's get this out there. There's all sorts of people. George Clooney was in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Just like all this weird shit. So
that's their debuts. Like, what did you start out as? I started out here.
Yeah, because like, I mean, that being said, Billy Zane, this was like one of his early movies. You would later see him in other films that we'll talk about, but I don't want to give anything away because I've got some other kind of other synapses of this film.
Oh.
So
I'm wondering if one of them is in my brain right now, so let's see if it's right.
The movie that we watched, I thought was it was about the escapades of a conservative CIA agent dealing with his family and keeping America safe.
A CIA agent and keeping America safe?
Yes.
We need more.
Good morning, USA.
Oh, nope.
I don't know what that is either.
American Dad. Scott Grimes, the young boy in this film, he voices the son Steve Smith from American Dad.
Okay, I would never have gotten that, but I do like American Dad, but I have never. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that was not obvious.
That was a loser, honey.
That wasn't
Sorry.
Critters. All right.
That wasn't Critters. No.
A friendly St. Bernard contracts rabies and conducts a reign of terror on a small American town.
That's Cujo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dee Wallace played Donna Trenton in Cujo.
Okay.
And then the last one is a 17-year-old aristocrat falls in love with a kind
knew
but
it.
poor artist aboard the luxurious, ill-fated ship.
I know it. I know it. Tasha, what is it?
Is it Titanic?
It is. Yeah,
Oh,
Billy Zane's. He's Billy Zane's the bad guy in the Titanic. He's the one that gets with Rose.
Oh, who's?
Yep.
I still don't know who Billy Zane is.
Billy Zane's the guy that shows up in the Porsche, the boyfriend.
Oh.
Boyfriend. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yep,
see him now.
He played Cal Hockley in Titanic.
Yeah. He's the one that gave her the necklace and all that stuff in the movie.
And I always confused him. Like, I had so many people in this movie. I was like, oh, Billy Zane, right? He was in The Mummy. No, that's a different actor that's playing The Mummy. Like, I knew he was in Titanic, but he looks a lot like the guy that plays in The Mummy. And then Scott Grimes, I'm like, oh, that's the kid. That's the kid that grows up to be in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Again, incorrect. It's just another redheaded guy. Like, it's just like nonstop. Like,
So I have one too. So is Billy Green Bush the dad from Seventh Heaven?
no.
So I have one too. He looks super familiar, and that's all I can picture.
Yeah,
Billy
there's so many.
Greenbush.
Yep. So, well, like
name.
the mom, Dee Wallace, she's also the mom in E.T. She's the mom in Cujo. She's the mom in this. Like, she just basically
she
played
just
the
likes
screaming
moms.
mom.
Yep. She's moms. Yeah. Yeah.
But-
Okay.
So, another little thing. Well, what is your girl's history with this film? Also, on top of that, this was Stephanie's birthday month movie. So she
Yeah.
picked this specifically for her birthday month.
Yes, I did.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay for
I
number
won't
30
continue.
Number 39. Yeah, so my history with this movie is nothing. I've seen the critter, like, little formation guys, like when we went to this
Horror
the horror convention, and I've seen them around, and they're like in the horror world, and they're just super cute, but I had never seen the movies, didn't know anything about them, and I was like, what's a movie that I would like to see that I've never seen that is just weird and probably campy and probably really cheesy, and it's from the 80s, because I do like those types of movies. So
Oh, and you got it pegged.
that was Critters. So that's what I picked, and that's my history. What do you got, Tasha?
Yeah, mine is pretty close to Steph's. I saw the little things at Horror Hound. Didn't realize they were critters.
my
I feel
God.
like I may have heard of this movie, but I've never seen it
These were
until last night.
The first few of these were shown on like TBS and TNT all the time growing up, like with Tremors. It was like Tremors and
Seen
Critters.
Tremors.
Yeah, those movies were like always on. Like, that's my history with it. Is I think I've seen every single one of these movies at some point in time. Like, they even did like a quote unquote reboot back in 2019 called Critters Attack, and I've seen that one. Because you don't go into these films expecting high art. You go into them expecting weird creatures going meh, or sometimes just going fuck.
In its own language. I love the subtitles.
This had Wesley written all over it. He wasn't home this weekend to watch it with us, but I'll tell you what, that's what this movie reminded me of.
Yeah, we've got the 4-pack DVD, so I'll be showing him Critters this coming week.
Yeah.
But another little interesting thing that Steph picked this movie, not knowing this, one movie that when we started this podcast that she was very adamant about that she wanted to watch and everything was Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This film is also all the special effects production and stuff when it came to the Critters were done by the Chiodos brothers, who directed and did everything for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So she's got a thing for like seeing their like special effects on the cover and going, I want to see that. Like, do you have that same feeling with Ernest Scared Stupid? Because they did it for that as well.
I liked all the Ernest movies though, so I mean those are very cheesy and campy as well, and I liked those growing up.
You
so.
like the Chiodos brothers. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I do. They do have a really unique like style.
Cute and
view.
grotesque. It's like this weird.
Yeah.
Acutely grotesque.
Yeah, it's a
That's a good
very
way to put it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do the Blob because that's kind of.
I'm glad they didn't because that movie is amazing.
The movie is amazing, but I still feel
Do you
like
think
that's
it
in a
wouldn't be
similar
amazing?
vein.
I don't think the body melt effects and stuff would be the same.
Oh, because it's not cutesy enough.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so this came out in 1986. What do you think its budget was? Mind you, this was distributed by Warner Brothers and what was the other one? It came out from like some decently sized companies.
The budget? Oh, $3 million.
4.25 million.
Beth hit it right on the head. It was $3 million exactly.
Boop, boop.
So, on its $3 million budget, what do you think it brought in on the box office?
This is one of those like Gremlins close storyline type things. So it could have went really well because I don't know if the Gremlins did really well when it released.
It was New Line Cinema is the company that I was thinking of. I didn't have it in front of me, but there it is.
I'm gonna say 12 million.
6.5 million.
13.2. So Steph, you're really close
Wow.
again. So this was considered like a marginal success for its release and everything. And it's funny that you brought up the Gremlins. The script for this was written before Gremlins came out, but since Gremlins came out, they had to do a lot of rewrites to try and differentiate it from that. But the 80s is like, I would be very cool. It would be very cool if we got back to this, but like the 80s had so many little monster films because you had Gremlins, Ghoulies, Critters, Hobgoblins, The Gate. Like you had all these movies that just had little creepy monsters that go, "Meh," just like, and we don't have that anymore. And it really hurts my heart.
I know, they're fun and like they're practical too. So like that's what makes them even more fun. I'm gonna look up and see when Little Monsters came out.
I'm gonna guess 88. But
They're practical. Oh, do you mean like practical effects?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not practical,
they're little practical creatures.
No, they're practical effects. Yeah, not CG. The Little Monsters came out in 89. So
so close.
Yeah, so there are all those like movies that have all the fun like practical effect bad guys.
So like the Krites as they're called, but the Critters, they were Charles Chiodo based the design on the Looney Tunes character Taz, the Tasmanian Devil. So that's what he saw, and he was just like, just like this like little fucking like creature that just eats everything. That's literally just Taz. Like that is that creature and stuff. But it's fucking crazy. So this came out in 86, which is for some parts an awesome year for horror films. The highest grossing horror films from that year were Aliens, the second one, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives.
My God.
Did they come out every year?
There were 8 Friday the 13th films that came out in the 80s.
That's crazy.
It started out in 1980, and so 8 over 10 years is how that went. We also have David Cronenberg's The Fly, Critters, House, Night of the Creeps, which is another campy horror film that you might like, Steph.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is fucking amazing. The only film that Stephen King has ever directed, Maximum Overdrive, which is literally just a Coke-fueled Stephen King movie of basically an alien transmission taking over a bunch of semi-trucks and killing people. It's amazing.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
It's
like a horror movie version of Transformers.
Kinda, yeah. But there's a semi-truck with the Green Goblin's face on the front of it. You may recognize that. But so like there's all sorts of Little Shop of Horrors came out that year.
Okay.
But personal favorite, From Beyond, from the same people that brought you Reanimator.
Of course.
But to give you a little viewpoint into what was really trending in the box office for 1986, going from the bottom to the top, some of these I've heard of, some of these I have not. But we start off at number 10 with Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Out of Africa, Ruthless People,
Don't know what that is.
Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
Okay.
The Color Purple.
I never saw that, but I heard it was good.
Oh, it's
Alien-
very good.
Aliens came in at number 5. So
Oh, wow.
horror's doing
Dang.
business. Back to School, which I believe that's Rodney Dangerfield.
I just watched that a couple weeks ago, actually.
Okay.
The Karate Kid Part 2.
Okay.
Crocodile Dundee at number 2.
Oh, wow.
And the number 1 film by a good $60 million
Star Wars.
was my boy T. Crizzle in Top Gun.
Oh, that came out in
T.
86?
Crizzle.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah.
Public service announcement. My like of Tom Cruise has nothing to do with him as a person. Allegedly, he's a horrible person. But Top Gun, Mission Impossible movies, I got you.
Well, he sends all of his friends a coconut cake every year for Christmas. So, I mean,
Oh,
maybe he's not the
it
most
must be
horrible
be a
person.
cool thing with Scientology.
Maybe.
So.
I love coconut cake.
I know.
But yeah, so that's what kind of is coming out and everything. Like I said, this did definitely come out after Gremlins, which came out in 1984. E.T. had come out prior to this too. I believe that was in 82. So like I said, lots of
E.T.
little,
was from 82. Wow.
it's way back there.
I guess I just didn't realize like a lot of these movies were from more before we were born and
Yeah.
not like around the time we were born. That's just crazy.
Well, the big difference is, like we watched it on VHS and it took movies a lot longer to get from the theaters to VHS back then and
That's
everything.
true.
And we weren't getting as many films as we are now, direct to streaming and all this stuff. Like you'd have to go out and rent the film or wait for it to come to television.
That's
so,
true.
once Critters hits television, it's going to be like 92. It's going to take
Yeah,
a long
it's
time
true.
because they stopped getting the money from the VHS rentals and stuff. And it's like, well, let's just sell it to television. And that's why HBO was such a big deal back then, because they were like, that was the home box office. They were the ones that got the movies first, like before.
Oh, I never knew that's what HBO stood for.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the
didn't
whole-
know that either, Tasha. It's okay.
That's why it was such a big deal.
Cool.
And Cinemax being the cinema,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It was all about getting
Or-
the movies before
Or
television.
Skinamax.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
nothing like some
darn.
scrambled titties. Oh yeah, some of the best acting ever.
Yeah.
Did you order a pizza with extra sausage? So
You just couldn't help yourself, could you, Nick?
never.
No.
So if this is your first time listening to us, hello, welcome. This is a horror film club. So what we do is we give out homework at the end of every episode, and hopefully you watch it, come back, check us out, listen to what we have to say about it, maybe learn some things about it that you didn't know, and then listen to how much you agree or disagree with us. Send us all sorts of hate mail. It is what it is, because
Yep.
on the internet, no opinion is sacred.
Right.
But beyond this point, we're going to start getting into spoiler territory. And if you don't give a shit about that, stick around. But from here on out, we are going to deal ourselves with some critters.
If you'd like to be part of our horror film club, make sure to follow us at Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Pod of the Dead. All of our episodes can be found at podofthedeadorelse.com or wherever you stream music and podcasts. If you have movie recommendations or questions for us, email us at podofthedead666@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Or else.
With that being said, Tasha, would you like to give me
Yes.
that 10 out of 10 on Critters? Because I know that this is you wrote this.
Yep.
This is
She
100%
loved it
the
so
words
much.
of
As soon as I
Natasha.
finished the movie, I just penned this.
Oh, man,
Yep.
I gotta get this out of me and onto the internet.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Critters has everything an 80s sci-fi movie should have. Cheese, rock and pop songs, gore, and a very good story. Yes, many may say that this is a ripoff of Gremlins, but it's very different in its own way. Did Gremlins have a bounty hunter? No!
God
There are a
damn right.
million zeros on this, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew. Yes. It knows it may be one. What? Yes, it knows it may be one, but it has a fun. I mean, a little. This is. I'm
Just
sorry.
read it.
Yeah. I mean, the little fun balls eating people. How great is that? I think critters are much more scary than any other thing that breeds because of water. It's got the best setting, a small town farm, a house in the middle of nowhere, and a family that makes us like them and feel bad for them. Quote, Dee Wallace. Once more shows us that she is the scream queen of the 80s, and look out for the very young Billy Zane. I also must say Terrence Mann does one of the best parts he's shown, that he can play a rock star and a bounty hunter all in the same movie.
Possibly, real quick, Steph would not stop talking about this man's hair in the movie.
Neither could Drew. Did you love it or hate it?
It was just so fucking ridiculous.
She was like, Nick, you need to get this haircut.
No, the whole
We loved it.
it was so ridiculous.
The rest says, I just can't get tired of that song, Power of the Night. Oh, the 80s. Sure, part 2, 3, and 4 are okay. But like Scream 2 said, nothing can beat the number one. So I would say to anyone who sees this, to rent this movie, trust me, it's great.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Like, it's one of those things. You don't go into this expecting, whatever, like some real, like, tense, blah, blah, blah. It literally was like,
It's a little tense a couple times, but not like, it's not horror or anything
you see that fucking fur ball covered in teeth? Yeah. What do you think it looks dumb. And like, it's just that.
See all those teeth? You know it's about to eat something.
Yeah, like, I mean, goddamn.
I know. Tasha, did you guys have to watch your version with a bunch of subtitles?
We had subtitles for the critters, but other than that, no.
No, that was
No?
just the
Okay.
DVD copy.
Oh, that's weird.
Our 4-pack DVD copy, it forces you to have the subtitles on.
For the whole movie.
It's the only way to watch it.
It's like movie subtitles, and we're like, can we turn them off? They're like, no, sorry. They're like embedded in the fucking DVD. And I was like,
whoa.
It was weird. And it was like big, not like, it was all over the screen
Like intrusive.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sucks.
I was like, it wasn't bad after you got used to it, but I was kind of like, I wonder if Tasha had to deal with the same shit that we did. And yeah, I didn't know if they would show it in normal viewing that what the critters were saying, but apparently it does also show. Okay. So even if you watched it the normal version, you would get that. Okay.
Right. I watched it on Plex, so I just had to deal with commercials.
That was our thing, was like, I bought the DVD box that I've been meaning to and everything, and I was just like, we can watch it downstairs with no commercials, or we can watch it upstairs, but it's going to have commercials. She's like, let's just get it over with downstairs,
Let's just get it over.
Well, no, like, not in that way, but like, because this was her choice, but it's like, add an extra 10 minutes for what?
I fucking hate commercials. Those are my least favorite things to have to deal with. So especially right now, because all of it's fucking political stuff. Yeah. So no, thank you.
I don't mind commercials for horror movies, or movies that are like this, but I won't do it for a movie that like has sustained tension because it rips you out of it.
That's true too. Yeah. Or it has like those weird breaks, and it almost feels like it was like made for TV instead.
Oh,
like
where it's got the weird fade outs.
Yeah. So I don't like that either. Okay. My review, 1 out of 10, is very short today.
Yeah, there were not a lot of 10s or 1s. So this,
everybody is a mid movie.
This is a mid movie to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, my son asked me to sit through this truly awful film, and I wish I hadn't. Acting, production values, script, were so disturbing that I had to shower after the film and had finished to I had to shower after the film had finished to cleanse myself.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little dramatic here. This B movie garbage has been described as a cult classic. Yeah. Some even have the audacity to describe this film as a comedy horror. Sadly, for these mindless individuals, the movie has nothing to recommend itself for. It astonishes me, however, that almost all of the cast seemed to evaporate into the ether after making this masterpiece.
That's not even close
That's
to
not
true.
even close to true. Critters should have been a government health warning on all and to be avoided at all costs. Utter garbage.
Okay. Well,
I don't think I'd be friends with that person.
I don't
yeah,
think so either.
Sorry, you don't know how to have
in general.
fun. Like that's
Yeah.
it's
She probably
that
just
simple.
doesn't like campy movies. She probably doesn't like Gremlins either. I mean, realistically, because I mean, it's not the same, but because this one's definitely more violent. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
I also love that we're pitting this person as a female. Just out of the
it's always
gate.
women
it
are the
is.
worst. That's
They
what it
are,
is.
yeah.
It's women are the worst. Just get off of my internet, women.
yeah, I would say this was written by a woman anyway.
It sounds very, yeah. It's just funny how you can
Thank
almost
you.
take the
It's-
tone.
It's
Yeah.
so nice
Know
to
what
hear
gender.
another woman just hating on women, Tasha. Thank you for being here for men's rights. Thank you, Natasha.
Wait a second. No.
Well,
What is
it
this?
Yes,
It also
women should not
started-
have an opinion. Good job, Tasha.
Podcast
God.
over.
I know. Well, it also started with my son asked me to sit through this, so it sounds kind of like it was like a mom that's a little uppity and was like not really into horror movies, and the son was like, I really want to watch Critters. Will you sit down and watch this with me, Mom? And she was like, I guess so. And then she watches it and she was like, this is the biggest piece of shit ever. I have to tell the internet about it.
Yeah.
They just got home from a nice Golden Corral dinner with Grandma. And, then they're like, hey, Mom, I know that you're not into horror. I can almost see it. I know you're not into horror films, but it's Halloween season. This is just ridiculous. It's like little monsters and then whatever. Like, it's just crazy. And then she's just like, trash.
Yeah.
She didn't want to like it.
But like
Right.
Billy Zane went on to do a lot of things. The mom in this went on to do a lot of things. I don't know if the dad did or the kid did.
The police officer,
guy.
He acted until he passed away this year. He was 88 years old. Motherfucker, like, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen him in a bunch of.
Plays a lot of roles and a lot of stuff. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't think of
Does.
anything, but I know him.
yeah,
What was the
he's-
one I was
that
telling
kinda
you? I was telling you about when we figured it out earlier, honey, and then my brain blanked on it.
I don't remember, but he's been in a bunch of shit. Oh, he's in.
feel like he was in Murder,
Christmas
She
with
Wrote.
Christmas with the Cranks is the one.
Christmas
I
with
think.
the
Yeah.
Cranks. That's it. He's the neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I just remember him standing out there and be like, "You old man," and I was like, I don't know where that's from, but I know it's somewhere. Yeah, Christmas with the Cranks. I love that movie. So, but yeah. So yeah, he's been in everything. That's just weird. I don't know if the daughter has been in much of anything that I can recall, but.
The guy who plays the rock star bounty hunter is in the first 4 movies. Same with the drunk in the movie.
Okay.
He's in the first 4 movies. Like that's there.
And he plays 2 parts.
Yeah. Yep. So
Are both of those characters still the bounty hunters?
I believe so.
They just keep those forms.
It's been a while since I've watched these. Like I said previously, when Steph said she wanted to watch Critters, I was like, I think I remember the second one more and stuff, because there's like a specific scene where like the critters all get together and make like a big ball of critters and they're like rolling around with like their teeth. So it's just that kind of shit. Like it's just dumb fun. Did you end up having Wyatt watch this with you?
Yeah, he watched probably half of it, and then I had to send him to bed.
Oh, but what did he think of what he saw? Did he get to see the critters?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made sure that he got to see the critters in action for a little bit, because that's a part of this movie. It takes a
a
long
bit.
time to get to the critters.
Did
does.
he get to the best scene though, where the critters are getting up to the porch and the one critter's like, they have weapons, and the other one's like, so what? Then they fire the gun and the one critter just goes, fuck, it just runs off. That is my favorite
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, he saw that.
That's amazing. That's the best scene. The rest of the film's whatever, but like that is kind of what they do with the films going forward. Is like they just take that like ridiculousness of like the critters and they're just like, yeah, let's just make them dumber and weirder and like more ridiculous.
Well, the one gets caught on fire and then rolls into the toilet and then like gets cooked in the toilet, and like the one eats.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, and then the one that goes in the chicken coop and eats all the chickens, and then now he's like huge, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
missed that part. Not necessarily. I don't think I made that connection. I was just wondering why that one got so big.
and it's the only time they do that. They don't really do the human-sized ones ever again, really.
Good.
But the body count for this film, though, is 1 cow, 2 humans, 8 critters, 1 goldfish, and several chickens.
Okay.
I love it when that critter gets into the fish tank. He's just like,
he's,
you
like,
see like the
eating
water gets
together.
bloody, he
Yeah.
comes out, and there's just a one fucking little goldfish.
I
in
was
his
like,
mouth.
that poor goldfish.
He attacks the ET plushie, like the bedroom scene
Yeah.
where they're just ripping every. I love that. Like that's so.
That one was a
stupid
cute
fun.
scene. Yeah.
Like
That
I wish
reminded
there
me
was
of
more
Being
like
Crazy.
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
And that's
I
what
wish
the-
there was more
agree.
like that where it like falls into like Gremlins. I wanted this
Yeah.
to be more mischief.
yeah.
Yep. Me
And
too.
they
It
do.
was.
They do get more like into like watching them fly their spaceships and shit like
Oh,
that.
cool.
Like, it's just stupid. Like it's fun. It's just bottom barrel dumb fun is like how I look at these movies. Like are these things that's like, oh, you have to see Critters? No, but it's like, oh, you want to see something that's going to make you probably chuckle at like, this got made. This is ridiculous. They made like 1 billion of these movies. Like that's fucking crazy. Why? Because it's fun. And like it's got to be fun to be on set with these movies. Like, you know, like when they did the critter that eats like the M80 and it like blows up inside of him and like the
And
smoke
then he just like
bill-
falls over.
Yeah, he just fucking falls over and stuff. So like that scene, it was controlled by puppeteers who were positioned below the hayloft to operate the stomach and eye movement. Crew member Dwight Roberts commented that it took some effort to coordinate the critter's bulging stomach and eyes as it was kneeling over in the hay due to the number of people needed to articulate it. So like it's not just like one guy doing it, like every little thing about
Yeah.
these things. And I love like their glowing red eyes. Like there's just so much about them. Like
Their teeth.
they shoot the pin quills out of their back and everything, and it like knocks people out.
See, I
love-
didn't know that going into this either. I was like, I just thought they were like little mischief making things that maybe ate people or ate bugs or dogs or whatever they ate. And then now they're also like porcupines where they shoot stuff at you that have like tranquilizers in it. And I was like, damn, we're getting up there in some interesting stuff.
Yeah, and Dad gets fucked up like nonstop, like literally
Dad
just
does.
every time.
Everybody else kind of walks out without much. Mom got a little bit, but
Mom just
Dad,
loses her fucking mind until she's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck this!" Grabs the shotgun, just blowing them away through the door and everything. And it's just ridiculous. Like this is a definite like. Granted, yes, there's some blood and gore. Like the cow scene
Minimal.
is pretty gross.
Oh, yeah, that is.
You know, and then the dad gets fucked up. You know,
and Billy gets offed.
yeah, it gets his belly, but that's about all you really see. And then the
Yeah.
one cop gets pulled under the car, so you don't really see that. You know, there's some language here and there. They use their one F word because it's PG-13, so they get one,
Oh.
and they used it probably the best that any movie has ever used their one F word. Like the fact that we've just got basically like this little cute ball of teeth just going fuck. It's still like to this day, like I'm just gonna get a tattoo of a critter saying fuck. Like that's just like it's so fucking funny. Yeah, like good stuff.
It was cute. I liked it. So
I didn't care for the parents.
Yeah, no,
I really didn't like the dad. I was rooting for him to just not make it.
yeah. It's one of
But
those
other
things.
than that, I liked the little boy. I think he really came in to
Yeah.
really carry the movie and carry the saving of everybody.
And the cop I think was really good, like the older man, because he's just like he literally is just that same cop that we've seen from like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, where he's just like, God damn it, this town's gone to shit, like all that kind of stuff. What's going on? People getting blown up. All right, I'll put on my shit. Come and like when he's laying in bed, there's like a picture of Dolly Parton just like
Yeah.
that
Tacked
to his
to his wall.
It's like, what are you?
there's no urgency. It's just like, I guess I'll get to it. And then when he's getting out of the car with his gun, I was just laughing because I was like, this is the most
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous thing. He's like,
Yeah.
so dorky.
It's so good.
Yeah, and then the guys who played like the bounty hunters, they were the most useless characters in
Oh,
this
yeah.
because they don't like they're pointless part of the time. It's like, oh, we have these aliens that morph into people, whatever they choose to, which I thought was interesting. But like, and the one guy stayed what he was morphed into the whole time. Maybe he just wanted to be a cool rock star the whole time. And then the other one just kept changing into like a
Couldn't
preacher
decide.
after being a police officer.
that's-
And then now he's the town drunk. And like,
That's one of the
just
best parts, though, when he
ridiculous.
turns into the priest, and
Yeah.
everything, and they're like calling it in, saying like it was this out of towner. The drunk and the priest are just shooting everything up, and the priest is
Is
standing there.
behind him. I know.
It's like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
It's just
And when he morphs in the church and the old lady like faints so dramatically over the piano. I can see that happening.
And then they're driving the car backwards because they don't know how to drive. And I'm just like, what are we
destroying
doing?
the church?
Yeah. And the guy's like, we need to hit it. And the little kid in the back of the car. And they're like, where are we going? And I'm like, why aren't they just letting the kid drive? Because like he probably knows how to do this better than them. But yeah, it was ridiculous. And then they like literally exploded their house. And then
that's all they did is blow up buildings. The bounty hunters just destroyed buildings.
Well, they didn't blow up the house.
Did they ever? Well, they didn't blow it up, but they basically redecorated it with their guns throughout. Like, did they actually ever kill a gremlin? Oh, I did it. Sorry, a critter. Did they ever kill one of them?
I think so.
I think
the toilet one. They did the toilet one.
Oh, that's right. They did get the toilet one. That
and
is
then
right.
like they just
saved the sun.
Yeah. And they just kept like shooting shit randomly, like at nothing. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? You're terrible at your jobs. But yeah,
that's why they only get paid after they're eradicated. There's no money up front for these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
I feel like I probably should have figured this out in the movie, but what was the point
of the entire movie?
The movie. So what was the point of the bounty hunters?
Okay, so the critters are like on a prison planet. They are imprisoned, right?
Got
so
that.
then they get off the planet, and they're basically like one of those things where they're just going to ruin the universe because they're just going to eat everything. So like look at them as almost like locust, and they're like, okay, fuck. Well, we got to send our best, I guess. Like it's these two
our
green
B
faced
team,
guys.
C team, D team, something like that. Yeah.
Go
The
get
Power
'em,
Ranger.
and we'll pay you later.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then they're like,
it.
yeah, well, they even tell him, and they were like, go to this planet that has life. It's the only life that can be in this location. And then it was like, but don't ruin the world, basically, because it sounds like that these guys that they send out just like end up fucking demolishing shit just to get whatever they're bounty hunting for. I was like, oh, that's nice. And they do, but then they put the house back together.
Yeah.
Which is, it's actually impressive, like from like a special effects. Like obviously it's just in reverse.
Yeah.
And everything. But they did a really good job of like all the different camera angles for it to come back together. It looks
the cat
really
in
good.
in the mailbox.
Oh, yeah. Chewy.
Yeah. Chewy
Yeah.
the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh. That's the movie in itself. Like it's not a whole
Short
like,
and sweet.
yeah, it's not.
There's a lot
not
of-
a lot.
there's a lot of like little like nods to everything that was coming out at the time. So like, you know, like the dad's part of a bowling team, and I believe they're called the Pinbusters. The two things about it is like you see the logo on the back is reminiscent of the Ghostbusters, and then the color of it is actually reminiscent to the real Ghostbusters animated series that came out like the year of this or before it. So it definitely like is very aware of the fact that like Gremlins and E.T., especially E.T., the fact that like Dee Wallace is in this and everything, and then
E.T.'s
there,
in
and
it.
they rip his head off and all that. Like they're not going like, oh yeah, this is wholly original, even though they're trying to make it original. They're going like, we understand the other stuff, and we're gonna like tip our hat to them.
I think the critters are pretty original. I mean, they are reminiscent of other things, but like I would say like they're not built like what you get in like the Gremlins. Like they're not the same, and like they kind of give you like a mix between Gizmo and the actual Gremlins, I guess, but they don't have the ears, but like they have like the little cute fur, and then they're like red eyes, and yeah, they're I think they're just wholly different, and I like that because these guys are a little bit more menacing. I'm with Tasha though. I wish they were a little bit more playful, or like a little bit more like, this is a playground and let's just fuck shit up, and less like menacing.
That's what they do more in the later films. Like I was saying, if I remember correctly, when I was talking about the ball of critters rolling around in the second one, I believe there's a scene that it rolls over a person, and when it leaves the person, it's just a skeleton laying there because it just ate them as it rolled past. Like that kind of shit is like what these movies do. Like it's kind of like not slapstick, but it's just comedic. Like it's the same idea like when the dad's down the cellar and it's like it jumps on him and it's like biting his shoulder and he's rolling around. It's the same thing that happens in Reanimator when the cat attacks him and it's just on him. He's like, oh fuck, oh god. And that's what I live for. Like that is so fucking dumb fun. Like
I just like puppeteered stuff. Like I have a huge soft spot for movies that have puppets in them, like where they have people that, like The Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies. That has a lot of that in it. And this has that a lot in it. And even the Gremlins movie has it. And I don't love the Gremlins movie, but I mean, it's good because I like the idea of people having to use these creatures and they're the ones manning them. And it's really just so much talent that has to go into that. And like, so like very specific ways of running it and all of that. I think that's just so fascinating. Like we watched like the Jim Henson, I'm a huge Jim Henson fan, and we watched like the Jim Henson thing where they have to make like their own costumes for your bodies and stuff. Well, it's like Face Off, but it's not Face Off. It's called something else. That's like the Jim Henson's version. I can't remember.
I thought Face Off was run by the Jim Henson. It doesn't matter. Go on.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, where they have to make like their own full body suits for people who are going to, you know, be like somebody in Dark Crystal or whatever. And then this isn't to that degree, but I do think that it's cool that, you know, we get to watch that. There's something special about it. You don't get to see that as much anymore.
Well, and like as little as you actually get to see the critters run amok and everything in this, even in just that short amount of time, there's so much character to them, like so much personality that's like burst through them, like how they communicate to each other. They use their languages like smashing together French and Japanese is what the one guy was saying, like about coming up with it. So it's just like this fucking insanity. And yeah, like it's just these little guys that like if you saw them like with their mouths shut and everything, they're just standing there. It's like, oh, what's this little cute thing? Then it opens its mouth, just rows and rows and rows of little needle teeth, and then they just roll like tumbleweeds all over and eat everything.
And they shoot you
That's
with
my favorite part. I love how they roll. They're so cute when they roll.
But yeah, this movie does not have a lot on it. If you like start like researching it and everything, you get a lot more about the later ones, like the second one specifically. So that's really about all I've got on Critters. Like I said, the Chiodos brothers knock it out of the park again, like just making like these super recognizable, like prime examples. You girls saw them at like Horror Hound and everything. Whether you've seen the films or not, you see them and you're like, oh, that's Critters. Like I know that thing. And it's it's not like it has the, you know, you're not seeing so many people wearing Critters shirts as you are Gizmo from, you know, like Gremlins and stuff like that. But you still, it's so iconic and everything. Like it just drips of 80s cheese. You see that and you're like, that looks like it was probably like a cheesy 80s horror film. And just looking at it, it's like that little monster probably causes problems, and that's what it does.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way with like the killer clowns from outer space. You can point them out out of all of a lineup of clowns just because of the way they're specifically put together and the way that they look. And I would say like since they did both of those movies, right?
Well, they did the special effects for both, like the creature effects for both. They directed Killer Clowns also.
Yeah, but I'm saying Killer Clowns definitely has a much higher concentration of creativity in that way.
Well,
than this
because
movie
they got
does.
to fucking just run the show on that, where this one, like the other guy's like, yeah, we just want these creatures made and you got to do this, but I want to tell this story. And we're here going, no, less story, more critters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the last one was weird because it was like cotton candy. Then they were just like, he was like eating them in the cotton candy and the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And like all that stuff was a lot more unique in that aspect. This one was just kind of like, bloop, we're just dropping these cute little guys in, or evil cute guys, whatever. And
I wonder how much of their budget went into just the opening scene of the space planet of like weird random shit. It's like completely pointless. I mean, you get the point. We're on Earth like within 5 minutes. Like, but it's like I wonder how important that was to the like production design and everything. It's like, all right, guys, we really need to hit this out of the park. But
well, they could have cut back on all the scenes in the beginning with the dad and like the drunk guy and all that stuff.
Yeah, because he's kind of annoying, but
yeah, all of that stuff was kind of pointless. It was like we spent how much time building character development kind of in the beginning that was kind of unnecessary building of character development. Sorry.
But anyway, so you guys didn't get to hear something that went off air, and you're not going to get to hear it, but whatever.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Speaking of the beginning, I wish they would have given the boy his slingshot back. I feel like that was a missed opportunity because they made a huge deal of it in the beginning. thinking that it was going to be a part in the end, like he was going to off a critter or something like that. But then he, like the worthless dad, just like hands him the gun. And he's like, no, like right there, I was like, this is prime time. He's going to be the slingshot master, but he just rode off on his bike.
No, he does, however, have like basically a full stick of dynamite that they throw into the into the fucking ship.
It's supposed to be fireworks is what they call it.
Yeah, he calls it a firecracker. That thing is a full stick of dynamite. And then we do get like, okay, this guy's a drunk and he's always drinking whiskey. And then they actually make it matter by the end because he does make a Molotov cocktail out of it and stuff, which I think when it comes to script and everything, that's probably one of the better parts. That's like, okay, there is a reason for this other than him just being a drunk and everything. Yep. I do like the fact that like the critters are intelligent, you know, like legit intelligent, cutting the power, cutting the phone lines, destroying the vehicles. It's like all this stuff. It's like, we're going to get you motherfuckers. We're going to eat you. But first, the chickens and the fish.
Yeah.
And E.T.
Yes, and E.T.'s head.
But girls, ready to get into your reviews?
Yep.
All right, Steph, since it was your birthday pick, you go ahead and lead the charge.
So, wasn't the best movie. It was a little slow in the beginning. I liked it, but I didn't love it. What do you guys think I'm going to rate it?
A 6.
That's where I'm at. I think you're going to give it like a 6. You don't do quarters, so 6.
Yeah, it's a 6. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I will watch the other movies probably at some point just to see how crazy they are. But I wish it was a little more fun and a little less mayhem in that sense. But it was a cute movie. It wasn't too long or anything like that. And I liked the bowling alley scene. That was fun, and the little nuances and stuff in it. It was fun. But yeah, I thought it was decent. So
yeah. All right, Tasha, what do you got? I'm going to guess Tasha doesn't like fun, so so I'm going to guess she gives it a 4.
I'm going to guess she gives it a 5.
I'm giving it a 6.
Oh, hell
wow.
yeah. I did not
That's
expect
shocking.
that. I did
Me
not
either.
expect that at all. But because before we got on here, you seemed very meh about it. Like,
It is a meh movie,
Yeah.
but it has redeeming qualities. I want to watch the second one. This is coming from just what we've talked about. I usually try to do it straight from the movie.
yeah.
I was comparing it a lot to Killer Clowns and Gremlins.
Yeah.
You can't not compare it. And out of those 3, this is my least favorite, I guess. out of them,
agree.
but it's still fun to watch. And I want to watch the second. I think the second one would be fun to watch in a group, like with you guys. I don't think it would be something that I would seek out on my own.
Correct.
And with this, I probably wouldn't watch it again just by myself for the fun of it. But to have it on in the background, to have it as talking points, that type of stuff, I would like. The beginning was so slow and unnecessary. Just
I
like
agree.
Steph said, we need more critters.
Just get us in the middle of it and get us going. We don't need the 20 minutes of buildup.
I don't need a dad. I don't need the mom. Just the kids
See, and
the critters.
That's always my thing about monster movies when it comes to like, Godzilla, shit like that, right? Less people, more monsters.
Yeah.
Right.
Super simple.
That's why we're there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll talk about that here in a second after you tell us your thing, honey.
Oh, I need to know what you guys are giving it. Or what you think I'm giving it, rather.
I think you're going to give it a 6.5.
That's what I was thinking too. 6.5.
Well, what'd you give it, Steph? You gave it a 6. Tasha, you gave it a 6. For our first movie for the Halloween season, I'm also giving it a 6. So we're giving Critters the good old 666.
Wow.
So
That's nuts.
yeah, my thing is like it's fun. It's a good time. Everything. If it were longer, that would be the problem. Like the beginning is slow, but at the same time, like if you know nothing of the critters, it does set up. It's like, oh, they're from a prison planet and all this stuff, and it's an 80s B kind of schlocky film. So obviously we gotta put like. During this time, you've got like the Lost Boys and everything where it's just like, we got to have a rock song in this. And we're just going to keep playing the fuck out of it. But like, it's so dumb that it's not annoying. Like, there's like that weird fine line where like another movie could have done that, and it's just like, God, this is grating. But like for this, it's like, it's so stupid. Like the song is utter garbage, and like and like the him jumping over like the camera stuff. It's like, oh my God, this is 80s as fuck. So like, there are very few films that I can compare really to I keep doing it and I don't know why. To Critters, like, yes, obviously like Gremlins and Ghoulies have similar things, but I compare this more to Tremors. Like, Tremors is so campy and stuff. I don't think of Gremlins as being campy. Ghoulies is campy, but those are demons, but they're still like cute little demons and everything. Like Tremors and Critters are both just like these things that just eat people, and it's just, oh God, no. But it's never scary. It's just ridiculous, and like that's why like those two movies for me are like hand in hand, you know. So yeah, I give it a 6, fucking solid 6, and I don't even need to ask you, Tasha, since we got the mark of the beast on this episode. It's obviously a 60%.
Yes, it is.
So
Good job, fast math.
You'll more than likely like it, which I think is fair. Like I don't know anybody really that's just like, I fucking love the Critters and would put it like as a 10 or whatever. But maybe, you know, like if there's nostalgia and all that stuff, granted, yeah. Maybe. If you've never seen it, like I think 6, 7, you know, in there, it's going to scratch that itch. As long as you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
If you're expecting a super dark, brooding horror film, this is not it.
It's definitely not.
The power of the night. I mean, come on. So, yeah, 60%. So now it's time for homework.
Okay.
And this is actually, I believe this is a Tasha pick.
Okay.
We will be covering Hell House LLC.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
I have seen this movie. Tasha has seen this movie. I don't know if Steph has seen this movie, but this will be our first found footage film that we've done on the podcast. So, and it's super of the season. Like,
yeah.
So, I can't wait to cover this one. But
it can be found on Prime Video, YouTube TV, so it looks like it might be one that you have to pay for. Oh, and it's on Tubi, so you can watch it with commercials.
Okay.
It's also on Shudder, so if you just get a 7-day free trial, they have all of the Hell House LLC movies. There are 4 of them, with a 5th one coming out next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's supposed to be a 5th one coming out for Halloween next year.
Okay.
But for Pod of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I am Stephanie.
I'm Natasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else.